What is up, everyone? It's the BumCast. I'm your host, HBIC, the head bum in charge, along with Baloney, the Southside bum, and a no longer suspended Dougie Freshness.
Welcome back.
We have lifted your suspension 2 days early. So welcome back.
Welcome back, Dougie.
Welcome back.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Every week, big announcement. I'm like WCW in the late 90s, man, with Tony Schiavone. This is the biggest BumCast in the history of BumCasts. And next week.
You know what? Hand up on me. We didn't really communicate. We all had a busy weekend. We didn't really communicate how we wanted to do this announcement. There has been a lot of announcements, some bigger than others, some not so big. Beef Loaf is in the comments. I remember us talking about the TMZ announcement, and everyone was like, "What?" Like that was it. And Beef Loaf was the one that's like, sell high and then like promise big and then not. And that's basically been our motto for 144 episodes. But
you know what?
This one's a big one.
Us being on TV was a big deal
for us.
Yes. Anyone else, not so much.
This one is a big one for certain people. A lot of people have asked about this specifically. People in the comments might not give a fuck, but other people will. And for us, the four bums, in the long run, it's going to be great. So stay tuned for that. It's in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, Dougie, welcome back. You decided to serve your suspension at a Papa Roach concert last week. So hope you had a good time. Also, happy belated birthday to you as well. Last Thursday, you're a ripe 47 years old now.
You're close. Off by 10 years. 37. But yeah, no, great Papa Roach show. It was 700 people in a small ass bottom lounge club. It was pretty awesome. And no opener. They played 23 songs. So
wow.
And big shout out to them. I was gonna make them MVBs, but I'm not gonna get on that level with them. But they said fuck it to Ticketmaster and went Ticket Web, and only $7 fees and $20 tickets. So
wow,
send $30 a ticket out the fucking door.
Now we get more artists to do that. Get Taylor Swift to jump on them. Then the ball will start rolling.
Yeah, man, Taylor Swift can jump on anybody. I'll be down.
That's true. So, Dougie, you had some bourbon in there. What are you drinking?
Oh, I am drinking the Redwood Empire Law.
Man, that is so good. Great call.
Yeah.
So it is. I tweeted out earlier. It is National Tequila Day. I am going to celebrate in style, gentlemen. So this podcast might go off the rails a little later. I'm going to start with the nice little.
Yeah, Fortaleza, not a surprise.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the little bad lighting. Fortaleza.
We believe you. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Then we're going to do a little Class El Zuo.
Oh my God! Oh, you just
doing a
flight?
Yeah.
I'm going to
finish it with the nice little Casa Dragones Anejo here.
He's going to be drunk in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I hope no one talked bad about you this week on a podcast because that rant is going to be awesome. Give it an hour and a half. We're going to be, it's going to be awesome.
We ringing the bell all pod.
Oh, gosh.
All right, cool.
Well, let's get this party started. Peter, what do you?
I was gonna wish you two bozos a happy birthday. Not only is it Dougie's birthday, your birthday's on Wednesday, Jason.
That is true.
Mind you, I feel like, and don't take this the wrong way, you celebrate your birthday every year as if you were a 21-year-old girl. You celebrate for like a week straight. You went out to dinner on Friday. We're doing a Cubs Sox thing tomorrow for your birthday. You're probably doing something Wednesday. It's a full week experience when Jason James turns 41.
So 41 I have dialed back a little bit. I'm not on Alexis level or in my Sox summer level where it's a whole birthday month or anything like that anymore. So I went out to dinner with the friends on Friday. We went for sushi in downtown Naperville. Shout out Blue Sushi. If you guys never been, I highly recommend checking it out. Hell, Johnny, that's why I apologize. I couldn't make it on Friday. You guys would have been invited for sushi if you didn't have your thing, but I will make it down to your show. I promise that. And then Dougie, he doesn't know the rules. He decided to go on vacation during my birthday weekend, which that's a big. You're gonna learn pretty quick. It's a big no-no.
Another
around here.
suspension. Another suspension.
You plan. You plan. Stuff around my birthday. So don't. Don't keep that weekend free next year.
Don't celebrate your own birthday, goddammit.
Yeah. God, how selfish motherfucker. Celebrating yourself. What do we got going on? But yeah, so then I had just dinner with the family earlier, and then obviously we're doing Sox Cubs tomorrow. Should be some shenanigans, and me and the wife will be going out on Wednesday. So
it is a birthday week. I love it. Shout out Fitzmagic real quick. He said, I told the wife I wasn't going to watch The Bachelorette tonight because I'm watching the Bums.
There you go.
Shout out.
You take one.
Fitzmagic.
You're good by our book, man.
Hell yeah. Rose, early MVB Fitzmagic.
Yeah, we'll cover for you, man. We'll talk to her if we need to, but you're doing the Lord's work right now. So Dougie had a good weekend. Peter, how was your weekend?
Awesome. It was everything you expect a 40-year-old dad of 2 kids to have. Like, we went to a birthday party on Saturday, and then Johnny was at our place on Sunday celebrating Scarlett's birthday. My daughter turned 6, so happy birthday, Scarlett.
Happy birthday.
It was a lot. It was a lot. So, but I'm here, so I'm happy.
It's good. Johnny, you obviously had a good weekend with your show. You got a lot of people came by, and
yeah, I mean, it was. I was telling you like before the show that it was just surreal that people other than who I know, strangers, were just coming up and looking at my artwork and pretty much praising it, saying how much they like it. When I was taking pictures with the people that I knew, they were coming up to me saying like, "Oh, that they really liked it. What was the inspiration by it and all that." So it was really definitely something that obviously, words can't express again how I put that out there on Twitter. But yeah, it was great. And obviously, yes, I was celebrating Scarlett's birthday. My daughter was there as well too. She was having a hard time leaving Peter's house. So, but other than that, it was definitely a great weekend.
Yeah,
very good.
One quick question about the art show, Johnny, because so we got there. It started at 7, ended at 10, and I was like, Julie and I went, and we're like, we'll get there around 8:15, and then kind of hang out. I didn't know what to expect. One, I'm not an art show guy. I'm more of a, back alley bar or the Roberts Roadhouse kind of guy. So when you told me I'm wearing a suit, I'm like, what in the fuck am I supposed to wear to this thing? So I put the poll out there, like, I'm gonna wear my best bum shirt. I did not wear a bum shirt. I put a collared shirt on.
Classic.
But yeah, thank you. It was a Hawaiian shirt. It's a fat guy party anyway, right? Johnny was in a suit. Everywhere, it was not what I expected. There was I'm not kidding you, thousands of people there. There was a DJ on the first floor. It looked like there was a rave going on. Like, it was 5 floors worth of artwork. It was really, really cool. Not what I expected. When Johnny showed up in the suit and I walked to him, the 4th floor out of all the floors was the only floor with like no working air conditioning. I thought Johnny was gonna die. I was very worried about my car.
Yeah, it was definitely brutal. Like when I went to go drop off the artwork, they had air conditioning. I'm not quite sure why they didn't have air conditioning when there was 100 people or more at that place. Like, it was just too much. I was at one point telling people, and this was for my show, we're gonna leave early because I can't take this anymore because it started getting too hot. Like, it was just I didn't understand it. But yeah, I don't know why there was no AC. Sorry.
But yeah, it was awesome. So congrats, John.
I also, honestly, I'm not trying to talk shit, but that first picture you took of Johnny when he was just standing there, like
the Mark Giangreco picture.
Yeah, I was like, I could not stop laughing at that picture because I don't know what it was, Johnny, like what you were looking at, or like just it was like the perfect moment that he captured that picture.
Hold on. No, I can explain that. I did that on purpose.
Okay,
he did.
I did.
He saw me. He was looking the other way, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a candid picture of Johnny because he's in his suit. And I told him, I'm like, I'm gonna like tag Mark Giangreco because Giangreco wears a lot of those blue suits, or he did back when he was on ABC7. And I was like, I'm gonna tag Gian Greco, see what happens. And then so as soon as Johnny saw that I was taking a picture, he just like it was weird. It was like your posture turned into like a slinky or something. But yeah, that's what happened.
So I actually didn't do shit all this weekend. Friday and I went out to dinner, but Saturday and Sunday we had the weekend free. And I looked at our calendar, and Saturday was the first Saturday we've had since April 15th. That's how fucking busy this like past 3 months has been. And it was great not to do anything at all this week. We went to go see Oppenheimer. We went out and grabbed like burgers, but like we didn't have to be anywhere. It was fabulous. First time in 3 months. So that was, and I can't stress enough, like when the summertime, when every weekend in June and almost July is booked, not to have anything, like it's like, oh my God, what do I do? Should we invite friends over and drink? Or is it just like stay to ourselves and watch Netflix all night, you know? But I do have a funny story from last week, and I feel like all of my stories that I talk about on the BumCast and Money involve basketball, me playing basketball in some, you know,
well, the people expect
one form of capacity or another. So on last Wednesday I go to the gym, and they have 3 full courts, and one court was like all day camper, so I couldn't go there. And the first court had people playing already, and there's only one hoop that was available to shoot in. And the kids must have been there earlier because it was lowered to 6 feet. And I got there and I was taken aback for a minute, but then my eyes lit up and I was like, do I do it? Do I do it? And I'm like, nah, I don't know. I got a lot of weight on me right now. I can't really jump as much as I could. And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to dunk. I'm going to do a fucking dunk. So I got a nice running start. Didn't dribble or anything. Just carried the ball. I did the most fucking weakest, pathetic 2-hand dunk I could possibly imagine. Soon as I landed, immediately my hamstring got tight.
Yeah, of course. Dude, you're lucky you didn't that was Achilles waiting to happen.
I was like, okay, we're done. No more dunking. Let's go back to the front desk and tell them to raise the rim. I'm like, as much as it was fun to pretend that I can still dunk on a 6-foot rim like I was back in when I was, 70 pounds lighter. There's a lot more weight and gravity sucks. So I did not want to rupture any ACLs, any hamstrings, any calves, like not dunking anymore.
Good call. Did you buy basketball shoes yet?
I did not, but I did buy a basketball. Well, I should say my wife bought a basketball. She got me.
She bought you for your birthday?
Yes, she got me a basketball.
It's like it's a Nerf ball, like those Nerf in the hoop they used to put in your closet.
It's like the little ones that they used to have that you could palm with, like the little like softballs. I don't know if you guys remember those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but she bought me a nice basketball for my birthday. So I'm like, okay, we got one item down. Now we got to get some new shoes. So yeah, it was. I'm staying away from dunking, but other than that, though, I'm gonna keep shooting around. All right.
Before we get there, you need to check out the basketball trampolines at Urban Air or Sky Zone. I just took my daughter to Sky Zone, and they have like full court, like slam ball basketball courts.
Really?
It was so damn tempting, and they're like, "There's absolutely no way." I've had 2 knee surgeries. I'm not trying to make it 3, so I did not.
Yeah,
but it looks so awesome.
The one thing I worry about those places is like I'm gonna like miss time to jump, and my feet are gonna like fall between the springs or something like that. Like that's gonna be my luck. I'm just gonna like go super high, and then my ankle's gonna twist in between the springs or something. Okay. So before the big announcement, Whiskey at Comiskey this Saturday. We are coming back. I will not be there, unfortunately, but the fellow bums will be there. Dougie, you are making some nice pork, I hear, correct?
That is correct. I'm going to be doing some 18-hour smoked pulled pork.
Hell yeah. I am jealous. I'm going to miss that. But I'm sure it's going to be very, very good. So, yes, thank you for everyone so far that's RSVP'd. We appreciate it. Keep those RSVPs coming because obviously Dougie needs to know how much pork he's buying here. Yep. And obviously there's going to be some bourbons. There's going to be some beers. We got some cases of great taste, less filling Miller Lights left that we're going to be bringing. It should be an all-around good time. These guys are going to do a great job holding down the tailgate. Going to be a good time. But we'll also be at the game tomorrow. So if you guys are going to the game for Sox Cubs tomorrow, we'll have the flag out. Stop by Lot B. We'll have some beer. We'll have some bourbons. We're not doing food, so we're just going to grab some more from Dogs. But because we don't want to drink bourbon on an empty stomach before the game. But tailgating during the week is a little harder, with work schedules and trying to get there early and prop out the grill and everything. So, we'll be there tomorrow though, and it should be fun. If you guys are going to get down, I highly recommend everyone gets down in the park early tomorrow, even though both teams are shit right now. Sox Cubs is usually always fills up quick.
I think it was like a decade ago. I turned to you and said, "This is the last Cubs Sox game I come to." And like maybe 10 years later, I'm like, we're doing it again. If it wasn't for your birthday.
Well, you know what? I'm not a big fan of the Sox Cubs series middle of the week. It's stupid.
But it's better because otherwise people would die.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right, let's get to the big announcement that I teased on Twitter. The earth-shattering. Every episode of the BumCast is bigger than the last episode of the BumCast. But
Senior Sox is going to kill you.
Yeah, he probably is. We got a big announcement, guys. So we have been talking about doing this for a while, and we finally put it to fruition. We, as a Chicago sports bums, we kind of pigeonhole ourselves into the Sox and Bears talk. We don't talk Cubs. We don't really talk much Bulls and Hawks. They've kind of sucked. Bulls obviously been bad. Hawks have been bad. But now we're going to talk more Hawks. But we've kind of alienated 50% of the baseball community. So our big announcement is we are actually launching a brand new Chicago Cubs podcast, Bums in the Bleachers. This is going to be under the Chicago Sports Bum umbrella. We are not, the four of us are not participating in this in any form whatsoever. We're giving full autonomy, but we are going to introduce our new hosts of Bums in the Bleacher, and we'll bring them in right now. You guys, White Sox Twitter knows this guy very well. You're all friends with them. Mike PrazMaster, and you've seen him on the BumCast before. Cousin John, a.k.a. Drammy Sosa, the Dram Daddy on Instagram. But Mike, John, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking over and launching this Cubs podcast, Bums in the Bleachers. We're very excited to do this. We felt like we have a lot of followers on Twitter who are Cubs fans, but we don't talk Cubs, very rarely. And people have said, why don't you guys ever talk Cubs or anything like that? Because we don't follow them. We're Southside guys, right? So we're giving you guys full autonomy to, do whatever show you want. See, tequila's already kicking in. So you guys can do whatever you want for your podcast, but we're happy that you guys are going to take it and run with it and do whatever you want with your Cubs pod.
We're super excited to start this up. I have been looking for an option to start a Cubs podcast for many years, and happy that you guys have given me the opportunity to start one up under your network. Hey, senor, they won't let me fuck the Cubs, okay?
I shouldn't have put that up as we're promoting a Cubs podcast. But Senor's a good guy.
I expect it.
Yeah, I mean, it's right before it's the eve of the Crosstown Classic. So I mean, what kind of rivalry or in-town rivalry would it be if people weren't talking shit already, right? So no, I'm super excited. I've been super honored to be on your show several times in the past and kind of shed some light on the Cubs and sometimes Blackhawk stuff like that. So I mean, it's really exciting to actually have that space to expand and talk a little Cubs baseball, even though right now it's a little dicey, a little iffy, which I know we'll get into, but just super excited to be part of it. And, officially, unofficially, one of the bourbon bums. So,
yeah.
So that's actually one, I didn't take many notes for this podcast because it was just going to be six guys chopping it up about Cubs Sox and things like that. But one of the things I did want to mention is since the last time you were on the podcast, John, you've really ramped up the bourbon content, which I think obviously falls right in line with us. So if you guys don't know, Cousin John is Johnny's cousin, not my cousin, but we've got a bunch of cousins on here. But you're a certified bourbon steward for one, and your Instagram has blown up with bourbon content. So before we talk Cubs socks, talk a little about your it feels like overnight, or maybe within the last year or so.
Yeah, I would say probably the last couple of years. I really kind of started my, I guess, journey into whiskey probably right around 2012-ish, and it was very, very just minor. It was, Maker's Mark, Maker's 46, Old Forester 1910 or 1920, just really basic stuff. Woodford, some bottle 2. So really minor stuff, and then in 2016, I went to my first distillery, really kind of fell in love with the process of like how bourbon was made and whiskey was made, but didn't really start getting, I guess, super into like buying and building my selection and my bar until right around 2020-ish, 2021. Some of like we were out of our home for about 6 months because of a tornado that hit our home. So that kind of slowed down some of the purchasing. And then this past year really just kind of started getting a little bit more into like diving into like the stewardship and, learning about, just everything whiskey. So it's my collection, selection, whatever you want to call it, has grown tremendously. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, have done tastings, hopefully get to do some picks later on, but it's been a lot of fun and, glad to add this into, part of the Bourbon Bums sector.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to let everyone know we're happy that we got, Mike and John here. We are not going to have a 6-man show every week. Okay. So don't expect to come back next week and see 6 boxes every week. Like the 4 of us, we're still going to have our every Monday show. We'll have one of these guys on every now and then to talk some Cubs baseball or, during the season or whatever, but they got their own show. They're going to run with it and make it great. And we're going to support them. But you are not going to see a 6-7 man StreamYard every week. We don't want that. We don't want that noise.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
All right. So I have my first question for the group is who's more pissed off about this season?
It's got to be Sox fans.
Yeah, it's got to be Sox.
Yeah, it's got to be Sox fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's greater expectation for the Sox to compete this year. I mean, they were last year were favorites to win the World Series for a lot of people, and coming into this year, you would have hoped that momentum would have kept going. I think the Cubs, we kind of knew more or less, like we were hoping to be competitive. There were some deals made, some minor moves, a lot of 1-year prove-it deals that were signed in the offseason. So I don't think that our expectation was as high, but I will say that next year, that clock is starting to tick because Jed Hoyer refuses to put a timeline on when this retooling or rebuilding was going to finally come to fruition. And, it looks like we may be sellers this offseason yet again. So I think that clock is ticking, but it's got to be Sox. I think the Sox had a little bit of a, it's a shitty division. They should have won that, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be Sox, like considering how close we are removed to you guys being a playoff team. And, like the division was, you guys looked like you were going to be like the far and away favorites last year. It was pretty wide open going into this year. And you could say that for either Central Division really, but like at least the Sox had a little bit of a pedigree there. And there was some precedent to think that they would bounce back a little bit after changing managers and, ridding themselves of Tony La Russa. But I mean, with the Cubs, like we went into this basically with very low expectations this year. I mean, they did sign Dansby Swanson over the offseason. They signed Cody Bellinger, who's looking amazing so far. It's funny. If you had told me like those 2 moves had worked out to the level that they had worked out to, and you also had Justin Steele and Marcus Stroman pitching like they have been, like I would have thought this team would have been in first place, to be honest with you. But just sticking with strictly preseason, prediction, like preseason feelings, like relative to like what the feelings are right now. Yeah, I feel like if I were a Sox fan, I would be way more pissed off than I am currently at the Cubs.
Yeah, I think that's a given as well. David, welcome from Cedar Hill, Texas. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Happy to break the Texas market there. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for you guys as well too, because you're gonna pretty much lose Bellinger. And John, you said in the pre-show that he just played himself into a $200 million contract. Like, again, Sox could have went after and they didn't, and just a whole lot of bad moves there. But we got the Crosstown coming up. This this definitely doesn't have the same flair as it did 10-ish years ago, maybe even 12 years ago. I think it was maybe around like 2013, 14 when it just kind of lost its luster a little bit, where both teams weren't really doing good, and it's like oh yeah, fuck, you guys suck. Well, yeah, we suck too. Like what do you want to do? We both suck, man.
Right.
Like what we're gonna be. There's no more bragging rights anymore, because I felt like in those early 2000 years, it was always funny because like one team would be good, one team would be shit. And then they beat up on each other. And then you get that one season where both teams are actually really good. And then it's like, oh, fuck. Okay, people are going to like fighting in the bleachers, in the stands. And, it's a fucking shit show. But now, again, it's like, I don't even think this game is sold out tomorrow. I mean, I haven't checked, but I think tickets were still available. It just, I don't, what did you, as a Cubs fan, what is your take on this? Because for me, I don't hate the Cubs the same as I used to, like 15 years ago, where I would be like giving middle fingers to my uncle because he was a Cubs fan. I don't hate that in the same level anymore. It's just because it's kind of like, you guys do you, we'll do us, and I hope we win when we play each other. But I've definitely dialed down the intensity in the past 10 years.
I definitely like used to have a strong hatred for the White Sox, and then I kind of dialed it back in 2021 when the Cubs had to sell off all their pieces. And it coincided with you guys having a really great season. That was like my peak of being pissed off at my own team with the Cubs after they had sold off Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, and everything. And they didn't even let them have a final at bat at Wrigley either. And I think I tweeted it out at some point. I was like, I honestly hope that for like what they're doing right now, it may be the right thing to do going forward, but that like the White Sox wind up having better attendance numbers and better TV ratings than the Cubs did just for that. Now seeing as both teams have kind of found themselves back to the middle of the pack in their divisions, like, what can you really say? You can't, there's no vitriol really between either side of town when neither team is really competing for anything right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say that growing up and even now, like I've never hated the Sox. I've never been that Cubs fan to be a Sox hater or anything like that. What I can say is that I hated the fan base for a long time because of like just the amount of just trash talking that always occurred when it was like, we both sucked, like at that time, it's like the Sox had gone 86 years without winning a World Series and the Cubs went 108. So it's like, at what level of suckage, do we just stop, right? But I would say that just growing up, like, Southside Bum is my cousin, we obviously talked about that. He could probably tell you that, going into a lot of those family, parties and stuff like that, we'd hear a lot of the Sox chatter from all my uncles. All my whole family, they're all Sox fans. So my father, my brother, myself, we're the outliers. We're the only Cubs fans. My dad grew up in Little Village. He actually lived in Bridgeport for a while. So it's, he gets a lot of shit because he technically should have been a Sox fan. But yeah, I've never really hated them. And I think the last time that this series actually meant something or it was actually entertaining was probably around 2007, 2008. I want to say 2008. Both teams were in first place. Both teams made the playoffs that year. That was the last time I I actually thought it was fun because those games actually meant something because they were in summer, you know, the dog days of summer when you're fighting for a pennant, you're fighting for your playoff lives. So they actually meant something. And now it's, I think it's just a lot of apathy from both fan bases at this point. You know, Sox fans rightfully so should probably stop showing up to Sox games until, you know, Jerry decides to either sell the team or do something different. You know, and I get it, you know, like you can't quit your fandom just because of that, you know, and it's hard to give up on the guys that you love. But, you know, I think a lot of fans are really just starting to say, hey, you know, screw it. We're not going to give our money to this team because Jerry won't spend any of the money. And I think Cubs fans are just frustrated because, again, you know, like I said, there's been no timeline or, you know, hard timeline of when this is actually going to be fixed. So I think we're starting to not be as frustrated yet, but I think you're going to start to see that in the next year or so. So I think these series are just kind of meh right now.
Johnny, was there any family fighting during Cubs Sox crosstown games?
Duh. Yeah. I mean, there was a bunch of arguments. So what the fuck do you expect, man? I mean, it's a Cubs Sox. I mean, even when we were fucking shitty, it would be still like arguing like back and forth. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, if you have a big family, even on Peter, like we our side, like we had that same kind of like talk going back and forth as well too. If you come from a big family, of course you're gonna have that bickering back and forth. Like, yes, anytime like we start bringing up sports, that's like the number one thing. We just be bickering back and forth. So yes, it was tense at sometimes.
I remember one time I was at a family party. It was Sox Cubs were playing. This was probably early 2000s. And Sox were down. They hit a home run to take the lead. And I was getting shit from my whole family the entire game because the Sox were losing. And I would be like amped up, like, oh, like rage, you know, just be me being me basically. And after the Sox hit the home run to take the lead, I went up to like my uncle, my dad, all my cousins. I went like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That's how you're cool. That's how like seriously.
Wait, hold on.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude, I'm serious. Like it I might have had some alcohol in me at the time, but yeah, I went up to like all my family members and gave them a middle finger to their face. And then the Sox proceeded to blow that game, and then I got all the fucking
you were one of those kids on Maury, you know, like my kid is out of control.
he was that bad baby girl before bad baby was somebody. Catch me outside. Yeah, how about that?
Dougie, tell me like my kid's going to boot camp.
I was gonna ask Dougie a question, and Jason, I asked you one after that. But Dougie, you talked about your like Cubs Sox fandom from your family on the CHGO podcast when we were there, but you never really talked about it on this show. So explain how you became like, which is kind of funny because last week we named the show Turncoat Dougie, but you really did turn. You're the turncoat, right?
I am the turncoat. Yeah, my whole family is basically Cubs fans. I mean, my dad's not. My dad's a Sox fan, as you guys have seen him at tailgates and everything. But my grandma was like huge radio Cubs, not watching on TV, listening to it on radio. That's all she. One Christmas we bought her a fucking TV and cable because she refused to buy cable. We paid for cable, had a fucking TV put in her house, and she still refused to watch the Cubs on TV, wanted to listen to it on the radio. So her big thing was, if you're from Chicago, you're a Cubs fan. And she just kind of kept pumping that down my throat. And then finally I just had enough of it. And I was like, all right, there's a team on the other side of town, and that's what I'm going to go with. So that's what I did. And then it became a whole big thing between me and my grandma. Like every time we saw each other, it was, you know, are you still a Sox fan? I'm like, yeah. Are you still listening to radio?
Yeah. Fucking listening to Eisenhower or FDR with his fireside chats and shit. Like the old school radios and shit.
Yeah.
So then my next question for you, Jay, you married into a Cubs family.
That's true.
Like Sarah is a Cubs fan, and she's super happy that bums in the bleachers are a thing because she was one of the driving forces of, hey, you need the other side of town's content. And I'm like,
Oh.
we agree, but we just can't talk about it. So
Yeah.
how is it going to, the in-laws basically as a Sox fan?
So first off, I want to preface by saying, like, every time we would finish a podcast and we'd be talking Sox and everything, and I go up to the bedroom and everything, and she'd be like, "When are you guys gonna talk about Cubs? You guys need more Cubs talk, And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not our thing though. Like, I don't watch games. Like, I'm not gonna talk about something I don't really know, even though I probably do that most of the time here, anyways. But
100%, all of us.
But like we kind of stated that, like, we want to keep, like, the sports, maybe like some of the sports talk, like, on a separate pod, and keep more of us for nonsense talk and like funny segments and stuff like that. So I feel like the Cubs is the Cubs podcast is going to be a good like stepping stone for this. Now, yes, going up to her family, like, her brother is a diehard Sox fan like I am, but her dad and her mom, they're all Cubs fans. So like, when I go up there, it's not really like, oh, like fuck the Sox or anything like that. Like, my father-in-law, he'll be like, "Oh, Sox really blew that one the other day, huh?" It's like, yeah, we suck, like, I can't really talk shit about that because we are terrible, and we have been terrible for a very long time. So yes, but then he'll, like, my father-in-law, he's not like a Cubs or like a Sox hater or anything like that. He'll just ask me, like, "So, like, what are they doing over there? Like, are they going to do this? Or what's the issue?" He's like, he generally, like, takes interest with it. So it's not like going into, like, hostile territory like it was at family get-togethers, like, on my mom's side, or like growing up, where it's like I was the only Sox fan in the family at like on my mom's side, and then my dad's side was, like, split between my uncles and my cousins between who's Sox and Cubs. So, like, in my late teens, like early 20s, there was a lot of hostility going to family parties in the summer, especially if it was around Crosstown Classic time. But no, my in-laws, no, they're good. They're good with the baseball talk. So nothing but I like when her brother's in town, and then we just talk Sox for 20 minutes, and it's basically like, yeah, they suck, don't they? Yep.
I mean, yeah,
All right, see you next year.
That's basically everyone's conversation for the last.
I was actually disappointed because he actually lives in Denver, and the Sox are playing in Colorado in a couple weeks, the weekend of the 15th, and we actually were going to make plans to go out and see him and go to a couple games, and then we got invited to a wedding the same weekend, so that just ruined the trip.
Damn weddings. All right. Before we break down, I mean, I do want to ask John and Mike about Bellinger and being buyers and sellers and things like that, but kind of to break the ice, because I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be contentious today because we both suck, but I do want to ask. I kind of want to just go around the row. Who's your favorite player from the other side of town? So I'll start
current or
no, like all time.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we all have answers. Obviously, we all love our team. Big Ozzy and.
Can I give you my most hated one too?
All right. Yes. We'll do favorite crosstown rival, and then the one you hate. So I'll start with you, Jay, and then we'll just go around the block.
All right. So my most hated was probably Aramis Ramirez, because he was always a Sox fucking killer.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, he just fucking killed the Sox during every crosstown. There's, like, always some kind of, like, big home run or something. So Aramis, yeah, I always fucking hated him. Kind of weird but growing up, I would probably say, like, for Cubs, like, Mark Grace. I was always a big Mark Grace fan. So I'm not. Ryan Sandberg would have been too easy, but no. Say that's my picks.
Johnny,
you're going for, like, the ultimate grit answer.
Yeah, it is ultimate grit answer. Yeah.
I'll probably say I was gonna say Baez, just because when he actually was good, he was like, it was just so like I loved his energy. I just loved everything about what he did at the plate. Like, he just had that it factor when he came up. But I'm gonna say Rizzo, just because I mean, that guy would, anytime that he would come off the plate, the only thing I was thinking about is that he's gonna hit a home run. Like that's always thought. Like every time, like he was gonna come up to the plate, and just a good guy as well too. As far as like hated, I'm just gonna say it just because he did this to AJ Praznowski, but fucking Barrett.
That's a good answer.
I was at that game.
Good pick. Yeah,
I mean,
we were too.
That's it. That's all.
All right,
That's all.
Dougie.
That's all I say.
He's drinking.
All right.
That beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
Well, I gotta get a little bit more liquor in me before I start talking about how much I like the Cubs. My grandma's watching from heaven right now, smiling.
I know. What have we become?
I know. Fucking ideas. Favorite Cub, because I was also a left-handed first baseman, Mark Grace. So just kind of mimicking his stretch and stuff like that, kind of taking those techniques was definitely something that I mimicked a lot. Hated, I hated fucking Zambrano. I hated everything about him.
ooh, good call.
I hated the way he sweat. I hated the way he fucking got angry at everybody. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Fuck
Good
it.
I feel like on your guys' side of town, it's not so much like who you hate from the Cubs so much. It's like more so like who you like clown on the Cubs whenever they fuck up.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
All right,
No,
Mike,
I hated Ramirez just because he always fucking killed the Sox in the crosstown.
that's
That was
true.
my
I
reason.
think he had a grand slam against you guys in like 05
Yeah.
on the south side. Yeah. All right, my turn.
Yep.
All right. Well, most like appreciated Sox player from growing up. I think I got to go Paulie. Paul Konerko, solid baseball player. Like, like wasn't flashy or anything like that. Never, I obviously was like one of the slowest players in baseball, but like
he does have like one or two stolen bases in his career.
True. Yeah, I mean, just the way he carried himself, he never like, he never made it seem like, the team surrounded him, that like he was just a really damn good player that happened to just be a piece of the team, and he never really like talked shit to any, to any of his opponents or anything like that. I gotta go the mirror of what Southside Bum just said. I'm going AJ Praznowski for my most hated. And it pains me too at the time that like, you had Barrett punching him at the plate, and then a few weeks later at Wrigley, he had a big home run to take the lead against us. And like I was like, oh my fucking God, this guy is public enemy number fucking one. I damn near wanted to like change my own last name just because it was so close to Pierzynski at the time. If you look at his career numbers against the Cubs too, he's sneaky like one of the biggest like Cub killers ever among guys who like aren't future Hall of Famers like Pujols or whoever, or Joey Votto.
Yeah,
John?
All right, John, what do you got?
Can I say Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite Sox
There you go,
player?
like
That's a good one.
immaculate
What a
grid rarity
cheater.
level. Like,
No, I
Fucking
won't.
cheater this guy is.
No, I'm not going to cheat because Griffey was my favorite player growing up. So it pained me to watch him go to the South Side a little bit.
us too.
Yeah. And his pants and belt too. It probably pained them too. But I would say my favorite, I loved watching. It's tough. I'd say there's two players. Frank Thomas in his prime was unfreaking believable. I mean, just power, average, on base, everything. I mean, that dude was a phenomenal player when healthy. But I also love Jim Thome, Peoria boy, grew up a Cubs fan. So it was, I'm sure it was pretty cool for him to play in Chicago, even though it wasn't on the north side. But Jim Thome was just super cool dude, just stand-up guy, both of those
Back in
guys,
the day, Jim Hendry really wanted him on the Cubs too. I think like 2000, like that same offseason when they got Derek Lee, that was like Jim Thome was his plan A, Derek Lee was his plan B for first base.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, both guys, by all accounts, from what we know, played the game the right way, did things the right way. No steroids, as far as again we know. But so I love those two guys. But hated Cub, I was gonna go AJ. just because AJ was, and I understand AJ. He's a guy that you love when he's on your team. You hate him when he's not.
The Rodman.
Yeah. But I'm actually going to go a little bit more practical and say Carlos Lee. Carlos Lee is
Caballo.
Notorious.
Panama.
Yeah, notorious Cub killer. I mean, he hit almost 300 against the Cubs. He had almost 40 home runs against them.
On the Brewers and Astros too.
Yeah, right, exactly. Went to Milwaukee and Houston back when they were in the division, and yeah, I mean, he was a pain, thorn.
So I want to say a couple things. And first off, like I said there was going to be like a big announcement, but it's probably one of the worst kept secrets in White Sox Twitter and everything. So yeah, it was. People knew, but if you didn't, thanks for spoiling or anything like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I did tell a couple people on Sox.
Yeah.
I'm friends
Oh
with
yeah.
too, so.
Yeah, I've been
100%.
telling everybody for the past 5 months. So I'm sorry, that's my fucking fault.
But what I want to say to you guys as well, though, is that what I like about you guys did a few test shows, and we got to listen in. You guys just don't go there and give like Cubs hot takes and meatball takes and everything. You guys actually know your baseball. You got stats. You know your history. You guys break it down really well. So like this is going to be for the like diehard like Cubs fans who want some good in-depth like analysis of games and where this team is at, because it's when we get on here.
Complete opposite of what we're doing.
We just, we're all like, oh, fuck Jerry, fuck this. You listen to, like 108 guys, you listen to Diageo. He's got, like baseball savants on there. They're breaking it down. They're talking WAR and, like WRC plus and all that stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, cool. He's got, but he's striking out a lot now. He sucks now. Like I'm just giving like meatball hot takes. You guys though, you guys are the complete opposite of what we do. You got good knowledge base, and I think you guys are going to do good on this. So cheers to you guys. Happy to have you on board.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait to listen to and I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to learn some stuff about our rivals, but we're
you better
gonna help
tune
you
in, motherfucker. You're like the executive producer.
That's why I'm going to
Did he say he might tune in?
Yeah, you're the Mitch Rosen of this whole thing. Come on, man.
I might tune in.
I might tune in. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna listen, because obviously, you guys are new. We've been doing this for a couple years now. We're not like by any means like experts. We're great, but anytime we can give like tips or just any little critiques or from experiences that we've come across, especially in our early days of us, holding on our cell phones, like talking into it, like in the early BumCast episodes, like we'll definitely help you guys out and support you. So yeah, cheers to you guys. Welcome aboard for the bump and everything. Happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy to be here. Happy for the opportunity. Thank you, Jason.
So we got a couple questions. Peter, was that your question you teased earlier?
Hell no. I got a million questions. One, they're mostly weird and not baseball related. Are we done with the baseball talk?
Yeah, let's get some questions of the week.
All right, let's get weird.
Fuck yeah.
This was a question. So it was funny because we had our BumCast meet and greet, taco party, watch party at Jack's place about a week ago. And I was talking to Julie and mostly everyone about it. And then not this week, the dog walk, the Barstool Chicago guys were talking about it. What are your, like, when you meet someone of the opposite sex, what is, like, how do you greet them? Do you go hug, handshake, dap? Especially someone that's like closely, like a friend of a friend. How would you go about it?
If it's someone from the opposite I'm meeting for the first time, I'll do a handshake, most likely. If it's someone that I've interacted with a few times, I'll do a friendly hug or like the half hug or something like that. Like that's my greeting. I don't like do the fist pumps or anything like that. Yeah, you can,
So that's where I'm gonna go. We'll go around the room again, but I have some thoughts about this.
All right, well,
Jack,
I guess I'm next.
don't be weird, man.
No, why would I be weird?
No, I said Jack and his neck smell.
Oh no. So I'm kind of like the same way too. Like if I'm meeting somebody for the first time, like if I'm meeting a girl, you know, I'll give a handshake, or you know, I'll probably do another like a wave like as well too. Or if it's somebody who I've known for a while as well too, I'll give them, you know, a hug too. Yeah, it just I don't know. I don't know if like that's how everybody's like that's like the normal universal way when you're like talking to somebody, especially from the opposite sexes, that, you know, yeah, but I do like a wave as well too. Like if I've, you know, hi and all that, but yeah.
Dougie's a hug guy. I know Dougie's a hug guy.
Yeah. I'm a hugger.
I think Dougie hugged me the first time I met him, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here, dude? All right, let's hug it out."
Same here. After he almost ran me over.
Yeah, true. And the aggressiveness of my hug depends on how many drinks I've had. So if it's the first time that I'm meeting you and like it's the end of the tailgate, you're probably gonna get the sweaty chef hug, and I'm getting in there. So just to be you know, just heads up.
Mike.
Prez.
Yes, I did almost run over Mike when meeting him for the first time, and then gave him a hug. Basically, because
it was all good from there. So, yeah. Yes. It kind of depends on the scenario for me. Like if it's someone that I don't expect to meet again for like have another time meeting them, like I'll just go all in and try to go for the hug, and if it works out, it works out. If it's someone that like I think that I might be hanging out with a couple different times, I'll like reach my arm out and like kind of go by like whatever their reaction is. Like, you know, if they have both arms open, I'll go in for the hug, but if they only extend one out, I just shake it. I will say that I saw someone in the comments, Missy, who I met for the first time a couple months ago over at Cork and Carries after a game, came up to her and gave her a hug at the time, but I doubt she remembers it at all because she was very plastered that day.
No.
Missy never
drinks?
No.
Missy drinks?
That's not Missy.
No. Incorrect.
Oh man, I'd have to agree with Mike. You know, I'd like to read the situation a little bit. I'm not like a big hugger to begin with, and I feel like I could be socially awkward. My introvertedness kind of tends to tighten up when I'm in like social settings. So it's I try not to hug right away. It might be a little bit more of a handshake. I think it might be just, again, depending on situation, might lead, hey, greet with a handshake, goodbye with the hug, depending on that person, if that's the way they kind of move in. So that's kind of my approach, is like try to read the other person. And, you know, I also don't want to be like some creepy dude that's just like sweating over some chick, you know, like, especially I'm married. So it's like, there's a couple reasons why I don't want to just like sweat over somebody. But
I feel like though in Dougie's case, like if it's like he's cooking and he's cooking for people and he doesn't get a chance to personally meet them like before he's done cooking, like you're kind of owed a hug in that scenario.
Oh yeah, regardless
of how
Doug, if Dougie's cooking, you hug Dougie.
Dougie.
Yes,
he's earned that hug. Yeah.
All right.
Look at us giving etiquette advice to the masses. Like,
so here's the deal. I asked that question. Now going forward, if we do every so often a 6-man show, every segment is 10 minutes long. So I'm going to write that down for later.
There we go.
But I think I'm going to be a dap guy. I think I'm just going to go dap across the board. If you're watching, if you're listening, I'm going to be the old school slap knuckles. That's my thing. Because a lot of the times, Whiskey at Comiskey, we're so sweaty. We're so like running around doing things, coolers, tables, cooking, this and that. I feel awful giving somebody a hug because, spoiler alert, we're big sweaty dudes. And
true.
Like the day of our watch party and things like
Peter. That. Me and Johnny over.
Johnny's in shape. You're playing basketball.
I bet he was sweating in that suit. He was probably sweating in that suit up in the 4th floor, though.
No, he was sweating.
I was sweating. Terrible.
But it is awkward. Like, so it's like a friend of a friend, or like if you meet somebody that you know, yeah, obviously you hug them and then like say hello. But then it's like friend of a friend. What do you do there? You get like the weird, like dead fish handshake. That's awful, and like nobody wants that. So it's
Just
like
go,
it's weird. If you
just-
see me and I'm dapping everyone. So
Just
that's
go-
What
that's
about
the
what
announcement.
about the handshake or the slap and then the hug? Can we do that?
Me and you, never.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
We're dapping. The louder the clap, dap. That's what we're doing.
Wait a
Just
second.
go
Now,
full blown, go
What if-
full blown LeBron James with his kids. You know the.
Yeah, we could do that.
start inventing your own clap. No, what about when
Yeah.
it's like cooler? Like obviously, like when it gets colder, like are you gonna still do the daps like all year like round or like during the times when we're doing our tailgates? Because it's gonna get cooler at one point.
And I'm not as sweaty.
Yeah, you're not gonna be not that sweaty. So are you gonna still do the
Yeah,
daps?
yeah. I think I'm just a dap guy from now on.
All right.
Respect.
Wait, I thought you were talking.
No, that's a dab.
So
Yeah.
okay, I learned there's two different things. I thought Peter was like going up to people doing this the whole time when he's meeting people.
Just be like
No,
Cam
wait.
Newton celebrating a
Yeah,
touchdown.
you know what?
Cam Newton and everything.
Wait, no. I should have a caveat. If you're like Mrs. Beefloaf, anyone like I will hug and be a proper gentleman when if you're younger than me, it's dap. Otherwise, like older people, respectable people, and I didn't mean now I'm just
Now you're fucked, dude. Now
yeah,
you're-
foot and mouth. I didn't mean older
yeah,
people.
ageist
But
motherfucker.
people
Man, just
people
stop talking,
that
man.
earn the. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Stop talking.
done.
You're
So
just
Thank
let's
you.
let's just
I'm a dap
move
guy.
on. to-
Next
let's just
question.
move on to my-
Next
let's move on to
question.
my
Jason,
question.
next question.
Yeah.
You know what?
But
I'm gonna
that's
mute
not- that's
myself
not-
for a
that's-
second.
we gotta-
That was bad.
Okay.
I'm leaving. Bye.
So, my question of the week, and it's going back to our youths. So, when you were back in your 20s, when you were going to bars, to clubs, whatever it was, what was that one song? And we can flip it both ways too. But what was that one song that when it came on, the DJ played it, that it would kill your vibe? It absolutely just kill your mood. And why you guys think about it, I'll tell you my song, and it was always the Choo Choo song. It was I never knew who sang it, but it was the Choo Choo song. It was Engine number 9 on that New York Transit line.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you got a $20 bill, put your hands up. You got a $50 bill, throw your hand. Like whoever sang that song. That song always like killed my fucking vibe. Anytime I was at a bar or a club. So what was a song that just absolutely killed it for you?
I can't think of one. I mean, we go out to the clubs all the time. So I would be dancing out there every single time, like it was John Travolta on Saturday Night Fever. I don't think there's like one. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I just can't. Even when you said that, when you text us about that question, I still can't think of one that'd be like, oh, fuck, I can't deal with this. So maybe it might come back to me when somebody else speaks, but I can't just think of one right now off the top of my head.
I'll go. I was never a club person, just to preface this. Like I never went to clubs. I just wasn't like a big club. I might have gone to a club with Johnny a couple times, dragged me out when I was younger, but definitely not a club guy. But if it was at a bar, I'd probably say Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. Like that song just instantly was just like, all right, I'm out. I can't do this. This is hit a level where
which is funny too, because anytime like that song came on, you would have like the people like on the dance floor going, oh, like they would get like super into it and everything. Like Bon Jovi like got the people moving.
Yeah,
but I can understand why, like that's my question. Like it doesn't have to be a fan. It could be a fan favorite that just killed your vibe.
I could keep it Cub Sox theme. I could say Journey. Like that song, at a point was
that
just
makes
like
sense. That
it
makes
took
sense.
so much. I love that song before 2005, and then after I was like, oh my god, I just don't want to hear this song ever again.
Actually,
that song will go ahead.
No, actually, I just thought of something real quick. It's Def Leppard's "Pour Your Sugar on Me." they used to play that way too much every single time, and I got fucking tired of it. So that's one. It's all popping up to me now. Go ahead, Prez. I'm sorry.
Man. You're
No, I'm
old,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
You're going to clubs where they play Def Leppard? What's going on?
What the fuck are you talking about? You guys were with me when we were going to these places.
Dude,
No,
every time we went to
no.
like Barley
No,
Corners,
no,
they
shut
would
up.
Play
No,
like
I'm
Def
younger than
Yeah,
Leppard.
they would play
I'm
that.
younger
Shut
than
up,
you.
man. Shut up.
I'm younger than you.
I thought you left. Go. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Just for me, going off what
you know
John
what-
said with Don't Stop Believin', like even before like that was the '05 Sox song, it was always also like the Detroit Red Wings song too. So
Yeah.
like I that song
Good point.
always had like a bad taste in my mouth. Anytime it comes on at a bar and it gets to the line about
Studio.
just a city boy born and raised in South Detroit, I yell out Detroit sucks just for that.
I love that as Studios comment. The Studio
Beef,
63.
The studios.
I didn't
hell
say
yeah.
I didn't
Friday
say
night.
what kind of club it was. I just said
Yeah.
bars and clubs, so
Oh,
you can
no.
encompass any kind of, any type of song in that. But I always felt that it was hard for strippers to dance to some of those rock songs. I feel like they kind of more wanted an upbeat song. Little.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know, but I thought they picked their own music.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know that. That might actually be true. I'll have to-
Probably only
I'll have
Maybe
to
when
do
they're
some-
on the main stage.
Yeah.
Everyone stays silent. Good guys all around.
Dougie, you got one?
Yes, I actually, it's like a kind of conjunction one. I also am not a club
Junction.
guy.
What's your function?
Yes, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's a bill. Not any type of electric slide, Cupid slide, all of those things can fuck right off.
Oh, yeah.
They could all go.
That
You
was
know,
my answer. My answer was like the wedding songs, not necessarily
Yeah.
club songs, but yeah, the
Yeah.
cha-cha slide, all of those kind of things.
That's
Nobody
a good
wants
answer
to do
too. That's a good answer because I would not. I actually told Sarah that all those songs were banned from our wedding, and she got like a couple. She actually had a couple that she had to force in there because of her parents. But for the most part, though, all of those songs were banned from our wedding. I didn't want any of
Wait,
that noise.
so you're telling me that her parents are Cub fans and slide people?
Sarah, if you could jump in here and tell us what songs that
Oh,
you had to
no.
pick, because I don't remember. No, they weren't slide. It wasn't the electric
Oh, okay.
slide, Dougie.
Okay.
There
right.
was. I think there was the shout was one we had to play.
Okay.
Shouts.
All right.
Shout's a wedding song.
Shout's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout's
Yeah.
a good
You kind
song.
of have to
Shout
do.
plays.
I
At the
didn't. I
end
didn't want it. I didn't want shout play at our wedding, but
End
it
of the
was
night.
strong
Well,
arm, so I had to.
Groomzilla.
okay.
Groomzilla
Yeah,
over here.
Groomzilla. Yeah, good, yeah.
You could ask Johnny. My wedding ended with Chelsea Dagger.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
All right. So, question: now that the rebuild has started, Connor Bedard, everything like that. I saw it online all the time. So the question more focuses, John. Do you switch the gold song going forward?
Wow, I honestly haven't put a lot of thought into it, but I don't know. I feel like Chelsea Dagger is pretty synonymous with the Blackhawks at this point. It's I mean, I get it's a changing of the era, but I mean, it's one of the few things that they, that organization hasn't changed out since they've gotten rid of like pretty much everybody. So, I mean, I don't think that they would change at that point. I don't see the need to, but yeah.
I want to vote that every time the Blackhawks score, that they play some Rage Against the Machine like Bulls on Parade.
I don't hate that.
Good choice.
Okay.
I am a big Hawks fan too, and I've seen this debate kicked around a lot. I can take it or leave it at this point with Chelsea Dagger, but like there's precedent to change it now that like everyone from all the cup teams is gone. The suggestion that like I've suggested before is I don't know if you know the band OK Go, but Here It Goes Again. It's the song like one of their crazy like music videos too. They're from Chicago, and I feel like that would be pretty catchy if you made
The
that
treadmill
the new goal
song, Praz?
Yeah, the treadmill song.
Ah,
Yes.
we got issues now. Praz, this is our first fight.
Oh my god!
You got-
All
you
right,
gotta
see
put-
ya.
You got to put something for Ministry. I mean, come on, man.
There we go,
Like,
yeah.
Ministry's a Chicago band, and lead singer's a huge Blackhawks fan as well too. So I would go with Ministry.
Yeah. Careful, Praz. You might get suspended. I went way too Mexican.
That's right. Beef says Cubs now Hawk.
That's
I
true.
don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to.
He did it again.
Oh, come on.
I did it again.
No, he did it again.
Beef asked what was going on here. It's fucking Bizarro podcast today. So
I know.
After I tweeted earlier, after the trade deadline next week, we're gonna switch focus to Bears talk, and we got some
timeout. Yes, I'm very excited about Bears talk. Can we talk about the snip, snack, Chase Claypool? He's back.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's back, baby.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Shortest pup list injury ever.
It's just like 12 hours.
Yeah.
We're back, baby.
I think it was I think it was like a formality. They had to put him on the pup list for some reason or other, and then they just immediately took him off. I think it was just part of like
cap related.
I don't know if it was cap related, but I heard that it had something to do with like it was like a formality that they had to do it.
I dig it. He's back.
But yeah, Bears talk's coming back soon. We're gonna bring back our fantasy football spectacular show, which is always a big hit. We had a lot of questions last year with our fantasy football expert John DeBari. We'll have our resident Bears expert Rob Schwartz Jr. He'll be on by the start of the season to break down our predictions for the Bears, and after the rosters are finalized. So we got some Bears guests we'll be bringing up in the next month or so. So welcome back, Bears. Bear the fuck down, baby.
Bear down, baby.
We're ready.
And let's bump some people.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
A bum.
A bum.
Let our esteemed guests go first today. What you guys got? Let's start with John. What do you got for us?
So my MVB, we talked about it pre-show. We kind of talked a little bit on the cast. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger. Just looking at what this dude has done in July has just been insane. He's hitting 452 in July, on base of 475 with a slug of 795, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs, 5 walks, and only 7 strikeouts in the month of July. So dude is just tearing the cover off the ball right now. Like I said, he's played himself at this point. If he could keep going the rest of the year, probably played himself into a 7-year, $200 million contract at this point. So, it was fun while it lasted. I think it was the intention to bring him in and, obviously try to flip him for some prospects, knowing that it was just a 1-year prove it deal. So I think it makes sense for both sides. And who knows, maybe the Cubs will spend the money in the offseason. We'll see, but it's got to be Cody for me. And then do you want me to do bum of the week now?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go, we talked about it again pre-show, and I feel like this is my new Aaron Rodgers at this point. Every time I've been on the show, I've always bumped Aaron Rodgers. And it's going to break my heart to be a little inconsistent there with y'all, but I'm going to go Nick Wright. Nick Wright is probably the most garbage dude on television, period. His takes are just absolutely awful. And he just made one this past, last couple weeks. He's been talking about MJ's legacy being tarnished because, MJ obviously sold his stake in the Charlotte Hornets. He made $3 billion on the deal, which is pretty amazing for him, just to extend his net worth even more. But he was talking about with Colin Cowherd how this should affect his legacy and how we should look at Michael Jordan's legacy as an owner. That should be part of his legacy. For people that don't know, he's actually affiliated with Clutch Sports, which, if people don't know, is actually the representation that LeBron James has. So he's able to really kind of direct this narrative of LeBron being the GOAT. And he's notoriously had LeBron as his GOAT, with Jordan coming in number 3 on that list. So, I mean, if that doesn't shoot down just anybody's credibility on, basketball knowledge, I don't know what will, because how do you put MJ as 3rd, let alone anything other than 1, right? But yeah, so Nick wrong. He could suck some butt through. He could suck my butt through 1,000 straws, man. That dude sucks.
Oh yeah. Sucking butt.
Yeah. All right. Praz, what do you got?
All right, my bum of the week. It's going to be Whirlpool refrigerators because my fridge crapped out on me on Wednesday. Had to lug it out with the help of my brother and my mom on Thursday night, get a new one in there. But yeah, had to throw away a lot of food, and that sucked. My most valuable bum, I was going to go Cody Bellinger, but John wound up stealing that from me. Honorable mention to him. I will go with the different Cub. I'll go with Adbert Alzolay. Had a couple saves in the Cardinals series this past weekend, and he's pretty much solidified the Cub closer role. You know, earlier this year, Michael Fulmer was really struggling in that role. Like they kept rotating guys in and out. They were going closer by committee, and seems like they finally have something solid going with Adbert Alzolay now.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Dougie, you're up.
I got no comments.
All right. MVB, anybody that reached out to me for my birthday and for what I was going through, I appreciate everybody. I love you all. Bum of the week. So, obviously, as you guys know, I went on vacation, went up towards my grandparents' lake house, which is just right outside of Twin Lakes, and Twin Lakes this week had Country Thunder. So fuck everybody that likes Country Thunder.
Yes.
Absolutely everybody that likes new school country, you guys can all suck it this week. You guys are all my bums of the week, because every place that I fucking went, it was nothing but everybody pumping fucking music with your loud trucks and your fucking shitty fucking flags, and they're not even going to get a mention what the flags are. But those shitty fucking flags that fly behind your fucking truck, you guys could take those right the fuck back where you came from. Fuck you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I never went to Country Thunder,
Hell
but
yeah,
I can't
Dougie.
imagine I can't imagine that I would enjoy myself. But
I smell
Terrible.
weird.
if you're a country fan and we offended, we don't apologize.
Hey, old
Fuck you.
old country's not terrible, but I agree. New country is
Yeah,
just-
old country.
Yeah,
Old
new
I
country's
love old country.
Yeah, new country's boner music. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go next here. First, I'm gonna give a honorable MVB mention to Artie Gumball, because he survived Missy and Alexis this weekend. Probably barely.
Yes.
He's probably barely holding on there. But shout out to Artie Gump for he put up and shut up. It was like either put up or shut up. He partied like a 20-year-old girl, and
He lost his hat.
I
He
mean,
also
you
lost
know,
his dinner,
it's
right?
better than losing like your phone or, you know, like your wallet or purse or something. But
Or your
he
dignity.
held his own. That's very impressive. And then driving
Yeah.
back, like that's
That's a long road trip.
yeah. So shout out Artie, man. That's good stuff. My first MVB, or my only MVB really, is this guy right here. He really needs no introduction.
Here it is. Messi! Couldn't have been any other way! Magnificent!
First game for the Miami, whatever the fuck they are. Game
Inter
winning
Miami.
goal.
Football club.
Inter Miami. Thank you, Johnny. I don't really follow MLS, but I've always followed Messi in Barcelona. So game winning goal, first game. Awesome to see that. Even though the ticket prices are going to suck for him, I already looked up him for Chicago Fire.
No.
It's
Nope.
ridiculous.
Oh God.
It's stupid. it's like $150 for the ticket, and then the next game it's like $30 ticket. It's ridiculous but it's the Messi effect. But that was awesome. First game MLS, getting that game winning goal. So, but my MVB, I'm sorry, my what a bum this week. Yeah, beef. I don't follow MLS. I don't even follow Chicago Fire. That's what Peter's for.
I'm gonna mute you.
I know, right? I've had a few tequilas. I've had
3.
a few.
Did you get to the Casa de la
Couple
Goles?
2-3.
Yeah, I just finished the Anejo right now. So
There you go. Hell yeah.
memory's a little fuzzy right now. But my MVP, my what a bum is. Hold on, it's coming up. Ed Yup 134. This fucking guy who replied in the Missy Alexis Artie Gumball thread. He posts this picture of me and says, "Work." He does not. He does not follow me. He does not follow the bums. But for some reason, this motherfucker has a picture of me on his phone.
Hell yeah.
And there's so many like responses. It's like why are you so obsessed with me? Or like, are you going to kill me? Like, what? I want to know why he has a picture of me as why he memed me and decided that he's going to keep a picture of me on his phone. He doesn't follow me.
Nope.
He doesn't follow the bums, but he decided to keep this
I love him.
and use it as a reply. So Ed Yup 134 is my fucking what a bum for the week.
Dude, everyone's on Team Ed. Literally everyone in the comments is on Team Ed.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I mean, he doesn't follow. I never met him. I'm sure he might be a nice guy, okay, but it's a little weird. He has a picture of me on his phone. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like it.
That means
Even
you made
though-
it, baby.
Even though my ass looked phenomenal in that picture, and I would have
Wait, bring it back up. Bring it back up.
I was also wearing basketball shorts.
You got the Adam Sandler look going, my man.
That's a Hank Hill ass right there.
Listen, I have basketball shorts on and a baggy shirt, and that was the day I showed up fucking, almost ready to shit my pants. So
That's true. You had tummy issues.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, walking around
Respect.
like Rob Marinelli.
Respect.
But yeah, I thought that was, there's people who actually like search themselves on Twitter to see who's talking about them. Tukas, I can actually hear Beef saying Tukas right now. There's people who actually search themselves on Twitter to see what people are talking about them. That's one thing. It's another thing when you just like read a reply and you see a picture of yourself in the reply being used as a beef.
Wait, were you not tagged in the reply?
No.
That's even better.
No, that's why it was like I just looked at it, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
That's me.
why am I memed? And why do you have a picture of me on your phone?
That means you made it, baby.
I guess so.
I shit you not. Fucking Ed just followed me.
Hell yeah, baby.
All right.
I'm not even joking.
So yeah, that was
That's
interesting. All right, Johnny, you're up.
My MVP is everybody who has given me thank yous and congrats and whatnots for my art journey, painting, and all that stuff that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. And everybody that showed up to the show as well too. Even the people who couldn't make it, I got texts and messages saying that they couldn't make it. They wish they could. And thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Obviously, I'm going to still continue doing, putting out paintings and whatnot. But, I appreciate everybody giving me all those things and just gives me more motivation to do more. So thank you once again. And then my what a bum is this video right here.
Hold on. I'm on my way.
Uh-oh.
One more time. Do it again.
Again, I'm live. Once again, this is my what a bum.
Take two.
Now, the guy who hit the home run and all that, that's not my
Right.
what a bum. It's not my what a bum. So I just want to get that out of the
Okay.
way. It's the people who were complaining about him doing what he did. Baseball needs a lot more fans. They've been itching for a lot more people to watch games. And I saw this in the World Baseball Classic, and it was like must-see TV. And I noticed that a lot more baseball teams are doing this as well too, where they're doing these little dugout celebrations. Either you hate it or you love it. To me, it makes things a little bit more fun for the game. some guy named Fry Daddy said, "Thanks MLB for encouraging kids to act foolishly on a baseball field. I'm sure this young man has a bright future, but I played against his dad, who was a great hitter, and I never saw him do this." Dude, fuck you, dude. Like, this is great about baseball. It's a different game the way it is now, and people like Ella De La Cruz, like people like who are coming up, who are fucking exciting. The home run derby the way it is now, like everybody who does these celebrations and whatnot. It's fucking fun, man. It makes the game more interesting, especially like if your team fucking sucks and all that, you know, in a certain situation, just let them have fun, man. I mean, this is what baseball is all about. So the people who are complaining about this guy doing his celebration or anybody else who does celebrations, go fuck yourself, man. Seriously, like go do something else. You know, it's just like it makes the game a lot better. And I applaud them doing this stuff like that. So
amen.
Good rant.
Go yell at a cloud.
Hell yeah.
And honestly,
Get off
I
my
want to
lawn.
throw in a little bit on that. Like, that is what is like pissing you off so much about fucking goddamn Tim Anderson right now. Is like he was there. He was like bringing the life to the fucking table, and now he ain't doing fucking shit. Yeah, he ain't doing shit. And that's what upsets you, is because he had that swagger, and now we don't get to see it at all. Saves it for the bedroom, I guess. I don't know. Fuck it.
Oh, it's I mean, he's been better post All-Star break. I will say that, but I agree with you. I mean,
Came up with a big hit yesterday against the Twins.
not
right?
enough. Not enough.
All right, Peter, take us home.
All right, so no bums of the week this week. It's more MVBs. First MVB, obviously, happy birthday, Scarlett. She turned 6 on yesterday. Julie did all of the planning, MVB as well to Julie, because I'm just along for the ride, basically. Like, she did the bouncy house and the tables and the chairs and the tents and everything else that involves a 6-year-old's birthday party. Johnny MVB for coming early and helping me set up the tables and the chairs and the tents and everything else, because it was hot as hell yesterday and you sweated up a storm. You were probably stinky for all of the days.
I still am. I still am.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just hasn't stopped. Yeah.
But the main MVB is Julie's cousin's son, Lincoln. This is the first time I've met him. So I'm going to bring up a picture of him and then what they're doing for Lincoln. So Lincoln was born 34 weeks. At 34 weeks, he needed chest compressions on birth and was intubated. He spent 47 days in the NICU. Yesterday was the first time I met Lincoln, and it was awesome. He played with my son's toys. They were crawling in the living room together, everything else. So Lincoln, obviously, because of being born so early, chest compressions, the lack of oxygen, he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So the Baby Skinner Foundation is doing a pig roast. And what they're doing is all of the proceeds go to him and another child that is in need. The Baby Skinner Foundation has been doing this for 5-6 years or so, and every year they pick 2 kids to get all of those proceeds. So Lincoln is going to occupational therapy and physical therapy a couple times a week. It's a lot. It's a lot on the parents. It's a lot on everyone involved. So what the Baby Skinner Foundation is doing is, like, they're doing a pig roast barbecue. It's in North Riverside on August 5th. If you can't make it, you could donate, but it's awesome. And I appreciate them doing what they're doing. And obviously, the Tabor family, Lincoln's parents, also, we love them all. He's a warrior. Like, we can't imagine, like, I have 2 kids. I can't imagine what the parents are going through, but what Lincoln is going through. And he fought every step of the way. No one expected him to get to where he's going. And the future is bright. So if you guys can donate, I'm going to link it on the Chicago Sports Bums Twitter and Instagram, my personal Instagram. Julie will be sharing it. The pig roast is on August 5th, but you could donate anytime between now and then. And obviously, we talk about White Sox Twitter all the time. I made the joke that today where it's like, like it's a cesspool, but it's also a really, really, really awesome community. We've met a lot of friends. Now I consider them family. But this is our real family. So if you guys can, I'll link the website. If you guys can donate, any little bit goes a long way. So we appreciate everyone. And obviously Lincoln, I mean, we love him.
Yes, we will definitely get all that information out and make sure if you can to help out, that would be great. But yes, MVB to Lincoln. All right, guys, that's our show. Thank you to our guests, Praz and John,
Our
Drammy Sosa-
coworkers.
our
coworkers,
new fellow coworkers. So, Bums in the Bleachers, they're going to be launching their first episode shortly. We will make sure we get that out to you guys if you want to listen to them talk some Cubs. I mean, even if you might not be a Cubs fan, but at least give them a listen. They're going to have a lot of good, like I said, they're very knowledgeable about baseball, about the Cubs. So you're not going to get just meatball hot takes. You're going to get some really good in-depth, analysis from these guys. So, Praz, you've been integrated with White Sox Twitter for a while. We've seen you in 108 and everything. So, I feel like you've already have a good following amongst our group here. So it's going to be great. And John, you've been on the show a few times, talking Hawks, talking Cubs in the past. So, it's going to be a good show, and we're happy to have you guys lead it and pioneer the way for some good Cubs talk. So thanks, guys.
For sure. Definitely excited. With you guys having the comment section on your show, we'll likely have that too. And, that could tail off in other topics too. So
yep.
See where it goes.
All right. Don't forget, guys, Whiskey at Comiskey this Saturday. Make sure you drop those RSVPs. We'll see everyone on Lot B on Saturday. And we'll catch you guys next week. Trade deadline talk for the Sox and potentially some Bears training camp talk. So look forward to next week's episode. Guys, have a great night. Happy National Tequila Day.
Hell yeah.